Okay, talking Reds, me, Gareth Roberts, special guest today. Glad to have Darren Farley, and thanks for coming in, mate.
You're welcome, mate. I'm a big fan, so I'm privileged, to be honest with you. To be here, I'm a bit starstruck because I've seen him a few times.
You may have seen Darren, of course, famous for his impressions. He's got his own YouTube channel as well, so check that out. We'll tell you how to find that later on. But first of all, before we get into having a chat about the Reds, just wanted to have a little bit of a chat about you, mate. It seems a while ago now, but we were all talking about it in the office about the video where you with your mate in the paper shop.
I know.
You know what I mean? How long ago was that now?
Well, I was 12 at the time. No way. No, to be honest with you, right, I always talk about it when people ask me about it. And I only went out for bacon. I went to shop, my mum said, I'll go and get some bacon. Sunday morning or whatever. And I went to shop, but my mate worked in the shop. And then he just said, because I used to do impressions in school, he said, he's going to show his girl or his mate, I can't remember which one. And he just took the video of me. And then the next minute, what I noticed was, I was just walking around by us. At the time I lived on Kenny, and I was just walking around, and people kept looking at me, and I thought, what have I done? I thought, can I watch this 2 years ago? No, I thought, what have I done? Because I just thought. And then my mate obviously said to me, look, I put that video on YouTube, hope you don't mind me saying, putting it on there. And he said, it's had 1 million hits.
Wow.
And I just went, I didn't even know what that was. I didn't even know what 1 million hits was, to be honest, Gareth. But yeah, a long time ago, and at the time, I said to myself, I'll have a laugh for a couple of months. That's what I said. And there come a time probably where I was getting quite a bit of work off the back of it. I was, done bits of TV. I was doing lots of stand-up work. And I thought, I'm going to go for it. And it's the best decision I ever made, honestly.
So it's full-time now
Full-time now, mate, yeah. It's obviously, like, I've been able to open up my other own little business interests off the back of it, which is just great. But from doing a couple of impressions, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But the joy of doing it is the fact of, in terms of me as an impressionist, the fact that people enjoy it and people love it. If they didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be one of them who was getting 3D tweets on my videos and all that. I'd just be like, no, I'm not doing this no more. So, I just want to thank everyone for watching the videos, because, that's what's given me a living. So I always, because my mate always says to me, because when we go out, or we're in town, or we'll go for a couple of pints, people come over and say, can you do a little video or Snapchat or whatever? And he goes, does that get on your nerves? I went, no.
I was going to ask you that.
It's one of the most complimentary things. I've seen that, that's why I've come over it. I thought it's one of the most complimentary things for anyone to come up and ask for a video of you. And obviously it means that they like your work and they appreciate it. So, it's no problem to me, and I've always massively appreciated it, do you know what I mean? But it's when you go to match, it can be funny because you can just be sitting watching the game and that, and it's just funny. Like I think Liverpool had a pen. I can't remember last season. Who did we play? I wouldn't say Norwich, because Norwich, I don't even think Norwich were in the Premier League last year. We were playing someone, and this kid's getting a selfie with me, and there's a game going on. There was a pen, and I was just going, just watch the game.
See what happens.
It was hilarious, you know what I mean. But everyone around me was just wasn't too happy about it. But no, it's a nice thing, and to obviously have a career out of doing something like that is incredible.
Brilliant. Made up for you, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Darren was on the Anfield app a long time ago, back in the day as well. So he's seen us.
Changed now. Changed a bit now. I noticed a little bit of arrogance, I'll be honest. Normally you get offered a biscuit with your cup of tea. This time it was like, didn't get any of that. So yeah, they've changed a bit, but I'm happy for them.
Well, we're not going to ask you to do impressions this time. You can if you want.
But we're going to. If you want impressions, I'll do impressions. Did you watch Carragher and Rooney on?
Yeah.
Monday Night Football. I was interested to see how we get on. To be honest with you, I think someone had written a few scripts for him there. To see the first line that
yeah.
I think Rooney, the fella said to him, he said, Wayne, delighted to have you. And he went, yeah, thinking, like that, reading the script, yeah, thinking, this is the closest Carragher ever got to me. As he was reading the script or whatever, so good one, Wayne. But but there might be a little video going out tonight anyway about
Oh, one to look out for there. So a bit
not plugging like, but
no, plug away, mate, plug away. Yeah, the Monday Night Football, we were just saying that must be an opportunity, because obviously you do Cara, you do Wayne, so the two together is gold for you, isn't it?
It's brilliant, it is.
All right, well, a little bit of a change in the mood, so sorry about that, but we did want to say something today about it is 60 years today since the Munich disaster claimed the lives of 23 people, including 8 Manchester United players, after a refuelling stop on the way back from a European Cup tie in Belgrade. Obviously, Munich, Hillsborough, Heysel, at different times, are being used as banter between fans, and this is the reason why I wanted to talk about it today, because I think it's awful. I think we should just end all that. There shouldn't be this constant thing around, well, you did this at this time, and you had this flag, and you sang this song. Can't we all just say, it's not right, is it? I mean, if you go back to this time, it's worth remembering that Liverpool offered Manchester United 5 players, and Shankly said he would pay their wages so that Manchester United could fulfil fixtures. Shankly and Busby were good friends as well. And there is a memorial service today at Old Trafford, and Kenny Dalglish will be representing the club. And I just hope that fans can be respectful of it as well. I think in the main they are, but I mean, it's just, we've moved on from the 80s, haven't we, basically, is what I'm saying here. And any time we sort of slip a little bit, and the songs that go over the line, they're a bit cringy in this day and age, aren't they? Yeah,
they're very cringy. I think we're more aware of it now, obviously, with the social media side of it and with all that. And I think it's a very small minority, but it is, I mean, unfortunately, it's been used so much, and it's disgraceful, really, it is. But in the main, like you're saying, Gareth, I think many Liverpool fans, I noticed I was watching a couple of United fans talking today and saying that, they had friends from Liverpool who were massively hit by it. It was an absolute tragedy what happened, and people do know that, but in this era, you're always going to get the small minority. No matter what happens, you're always going to get a small minority who ruin it for people, but you want to see that totally and utterly swerve, because it's horrible, isn't it, mate, to be fair?
Yeah, I mean, and Liverpool are doing their bit, as I say. Kenny's attending the memorial today. The club's put out, things on social media and stuff like that as well, which is good to see. So who knows? Hopefully we can move on. Okay, the Reds then, last night, the under-23 match against Tottenham. Not something we normally talk about on here. I mean, Gibbo does do a show about the kids who play for the Reds, and and it's a very good show. Lots of people asking currently where it is actually. John is going to bring that one back, don't worry, for those who are interested in that level of football. But yeah, Adam Lallana was knocking around playing for the under-23s last night, and that's where they all got a bit interested. I mean, Adam's 29, and there was an aerial challenge from George Marsh, 19, playing for Spurs' youth team there, and Adam basically lost his shit.
I don't know. Do you know if you ever remember the 92 Royal Rumble? Where Hulk Hogan jumps off the top rope, and I mean, it was a bit of a shock, really, when I seen it, to be fair. I was just a bit like, because it's not Lallanish, is it, to be fair? Is that the right word, Lallanish? It's not really something that he'd do you know what I mean? So when I seen it, I was just like, what's he doing? He's lost his marbles a bit. You can understand it in a high pressure situation, or a massive game. You've seen it before. We've seen Liverpool captains lose it at times, but you just wonder why. In a game like that, a lot of young players on show. Not a great example. I was just a bit surprised by him. Out of character, so I'm sure that, it is just a game, but obviously the kid's done something to upset him. I don't really know.
I know, it's a bit of a mad one. I mean, Neil Critchley, the under-23 manager, said after the game, I've never seen Adam react like that before. Maybe a bit of frustration. I mean, he's only started one game for the first team this season. Missed the first half of the campaign with a thigh injury, and he's also had a groin injury recently. It was the whole reason he was playing is Klopp's trying to get him fit and firing, and he talked about in his last press conference that maybe Adam could be fit for Southampton at the weekend. We'll see about that now after his chokehold on George Marsh. But he will get a 3-match ban for that, but it won't apply to first team matches. So if Klopp's seen something in how he played and not how he choked, then he is available to play against Southampton. So bit of a mad one that. Anyway, we're going to be back in a minute, and we're going to look at today's papers. Okay, let's have a look at the day's papers then, and all the back pages dominated by Chelsea getting tonked by Watford last night, which was hilarious.
Yeah,
we loved it. Ask me if you want on the back of the Mail. Done for on the back of the Mirror, and Conte's job under threat in the Times. Basically, the consensus across the report seems to be that he'll get another go, but if they get beat again, bear in mind they got tonked by Bournemouth as well, then he's likely to be a goner. I mean, it's a bit of a strange one, isn't it, Darren? Because it seems to me that for a while now, he's sort of been spoiling for a fight with the owners. You know, he's been criticising the signing, saying he's not involved. He said that thing, didn't he, about I want you to publicly back me, which is a bit strange, because Abramovich never does that anyway.
No.
And it just feels like two big egos have clashed, and it's inevitable parting the ways at some point.
Yeah, I think Conte wants out. Yeah, definitely. I think he wants out. I think he's been linked with the national job again, which he wants to go back to, but I think he's just had enough, to be fair. He's just, I mean, to come out, the noises he's making, seems like he's coming out with something different every other day, and I think he's just looking for a way out there at Chelsea, to be fair. I do think it is to do with with that national job coming about as well. And I know, I mean, for me, a lot of it stems from like the transfer policy as well. You look at what happened with the Matic thing and the summer sitting. And he come out, I think, didn't he, and said like, it's not in my control or something. Yeah. What? You're the manager of the football club. Massive player Matic was. You know, you don't get many of those kind of holding midfielders. To let him go to one of your main rivals was bizarre. I was just like, it was probably the most shocking transfer in a long time I'd seen, to be fair. So it hasn't been good there for a while, to be honest with you.
The striker thing was weird as well, wasn't it? Being linked with basically anyone who was 6'4".
Well, when I seen Brian Dean come on the scene, jeez, Eggle Ostenstad and all them, but no, I mean, like, Andy Carroll, come on, when he mentions him, and I was just like, and then obviously Crouchy. It's funny the Crouchy one, I know people might laugh, but he'd probably done a job for them. I never forget the McAllister situation with Liverpool. Yeah. It was questioned massively. I know I'm going off the beaten track here, I'll get back on that now. But that could have been a decent one for them, not in a way. I'll get laughed at for this and no, but I just think a bit of experience sometimes. But you're all right, mate. It was a totally bizarre situation. You think about the finances that the club have got to go out and sign good strikers, and the players they were looking at was bonkers.
It did go a bit mad, and as we say, I think it's only ending one way. This, isn't it, man? That's the man with the wig is going to leave. Okay, so
by the way, what a hair transplant that is! Absolutely, whoever done. I was watching Wayne Rooney last night, going, just give Conte a ring. Yeah. Instead of getting 14 hair transplants a year, just give Conte and go, Antonio, where did you get that from? The best. You know what I mean? And he just points him in the right direction. Conte, his head was like an egg in the nest, one at the time. Now, it's like a model.
Just look at that. I mean, you know what I mean? You're not getting better than that. Some haircut, that.
Sorry, what's hilarious is even the better haircuts on the front, Donald Trump.
All right, another one in the papers today as well. It's on all over the BBC this morning as well. Lots of reports about this. Is the idea that there is some kind of consideration going on to a winter break in this country. Yeah. It's likely to be in January, is what's being said, but could happen before 2022. Obviously, it involves lots of discussion with broadcasters as well as with clubs and everything else, and working out how fixtures would work. But it seems to be that they're saying there could be something in January. I mean, where do you stand on it? It's a debate that's sort of gone on forever, isn't it? It seems to come up every season, because players are tired and they're getting injured and there's too many matches. And there's that weird, I guess if you're a footballer, not weird if you're a fan, there's that spell around Christmas where it just seems like it's a game every day.
Yeah. But for us as a fan, us as fans, I love it. It's one of my favourite times of the year for football. I absolutely love the footy. Now, you understand managers moaning about it, but I think there's got to be sacrifices sometimes, you know what I mean? They're paid an awful amount of money, they're very lucky in what they do, and just to moan because they're all a bit overworked sometimes. I understand. I think it'd benefit Liverpool. Because, and a lot of people have touched on this, that Liverpool do seem to jade towards the end of the season, because Klopp, I'm not sure about what goes on the training ground, but you watch Liverpool against Spurs and they're pressing is relentless, then you notice that it kind of eases off because you can't do that for 90 minutes. So I think it'd probably benefit the likes of Liverpool, Tottenham, certain teams, you know, it wouldn't really help, like the likes of United who don't really do anything apart from, you know, the big 26 plus that they park on the pitch. But for me as a fan, I wouldn't be happy about that because I mean, I just, you know, in terms of a winter break, I want to be watching football over Christmas, definitely.
So if they did January, do you think that's a decent compromise, maybe?
If
the week off or something
I just don't want to break from footy. As a fan,
the FA Cup, then,
don't get me wrong, I understand that it would benefit the club. So at the same time, I'd be like, well, you know, if it's going to help the club improve, fair enough. But it's like international break, you know, because we don't really watch the England games, do we? Let's be honest. International break, you know, there's no footy and it's a big hole in my life, and sorry, I'm getting emotional, but yeah, it is though. I just think they are winter break and that. Not for me personally, I wouldn't like to see it, I wouldn't. Okay,
another one that's covered in lots of papers today, including in the Times here. Henry Winters wrote a massive piece about it. He's going on about Dele Alli dive, and obviously got booked at Anfield. Diving alley must shun the dark arts. I'm sure they get together, these fellas, sometimes, you know, because Martin Samuel in the Mails wrote a big piece about diving as well. I mean, this is another one where it just comes up again and again and again, and it's all over Sky, and it's on Match of the Day, and it's in papers, and I sometimes wonder, look, I get it, I've worked in newspapers myself, and like, you know, sometimes like you need these issues to just simply fill the pages and something to talk about. But I wonder, you know, from a fan's perspective again, I mean, does it really bother you diving? Are you getting really angry about it, or are you just like, it's part of the game now?
It's part of the game. I think that there's sometimes a bit of confusion about it as well. I mean, the likes of, you know, Dele Alli does it quite a bit, to be fair. So they picked up on certain players who were kind of consistent in doing it. But I think there's a lot of confusion with it, because I think, like, we looked something about the Harry Kane one. And, you know, it's a dive. It is a dive, because at the end of the day, he's gone down. He doesn't need to go down. But when your keeper flies out like that, like Karius did, you're giving him the excuse, or, you know, he can play for it. There's a difference between intelligence and diving. And what Kane's almost intelligence for me, you know what I mean? He's tipped his foot, and you see that a lot. It's been going on for a long time. Is it gamesmanship? Is it? I don't really know how you can look at it. It's not something that massively concerns me. I'll be honest with you. Like, I mean, obviously you don't want people diving, but it balances itself out. Liverpool win penalties. Liverpool concede penalties. It's part of the game. And it's part of what, like Henry Winters, you know, you wouldn't have nothing to write about if this stuff weren't going on. Like you just said there, you know, sometimes these issues, it's like the VAR situation. Now, okay, I understand for the big decisions, I get it, but I think it's dangerous where it could possibly go. Because I think if it goes so far, you're going to get to a point where, like, every decision is scrutinised, and it's going to slow the excitement down. We're in the boozer after the game. We want to talk about the match. You know, we're sitting here doing a video for Anfield Rap. We want to talk about decisions, and then we're going to have nothing to talk about.
I know,
it's going to take the excitement away.
I mean, and that was weird. I mean, we talked about it on here and on the podcast, but it was weird that the West Brom game having that in place, and these, you know, these huge gaps in play where if you stood on the cop or, you know, whatever, you just don't know what's going on, do you? They couldn't communicate it to the fans.
No,
the players all looked like they didn't know what was going on as well.
Massively confusing, and more so what was mad about it, like you're saying there, Kat, is the fact that the supporter in the stadium who's bought a ticket has not a clue what's going on. You know, if you're watching at home, which I was watching at home, you can see everything going on. I don't think that's fair, really. You know what I mean? And I just think that, okay, if we get to the right decision, it's going to work out, but do we really want that? I reckon we want to have a moan now and then.
Exactly, yeah.
Can't believe that didn't go over the line. Can't believe he gave a pen for that. That's, even though it's something we love to hate, and that's, you know, part of the game, you can't take the excitement out, can you, mate? You know what I mean?
No, exactly. I'm with you on that, mate. Yeah. In The Guardian today as well, last of all, just really good to see a full page there on the food banks that have been set up around football matches. They focused on the Newcastle one there, but there is a mention also for the Liverpool one and at Everton as well. It's mentioning really how the clubs have started to really get behind this now. It was fan-led, of course. but you know, more and more now players. There's a player here, one of the Newcastle players, Isaac Hayden, has gone down to the Newcastle Food Bank, and you know that it's great to see this, isn't it, Darren? I mean, we've really supported it at the Anfield app. We've gone down there ourselves and give stuff in, and you know, we know some of the lads now are involved, and we're actually trying to make a bit of a video on it. One day it will emerge, but we always give it a push. And if you go into Anfield at any point throughout the season, they're dead easy to find. The easiest place to find them is on the Anfield Road. There's a van parked up there, green van. You'll see it there opposite, just a little bit down from the Shankly gates. And just go over, bags of food, toiletries, deodorants, all that sort of stuff. People who are living in poverty in North Liverpool will be helped directly by you just donating a few little bits like that, and it's really took off, and it's sad in a way that we have to do it, but equally when all that money is washing around in football just over here, I think it's a nice thing that the community over here is being helped. It's
amazing. Do you know what, the situation with the food banks is amazing, and it goes to show not just about the city that we live in, but we know how generous this city is. If your neighbour's in need, you help your neighbour, and we've all been there. Listen, we've had a quid. Me and my missus, you know, years ago, bag of chips, and you know, we've all been in that situation, and people need help, especially these days. I mean, you know, it's so difficult, and the fact that people pull together to help is unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? And obviously it's happening at Newcastle, it's happening, but I've always said about Liverpool, it's an unbelievably generous city. People will give you the last pound, they will, and you know, it's brilliant to see.
I mean, the one in Liverpool has sort of led the way, and you know, the lads involved in that, Blues and Reds, doing a great job. And every time I've spoken to them, they always say more and more fans now from all over the country are saying, well, how did you set this up? How did you get it going? We want to do something similar. So fantastic to see. I mean, back to you then, mate. I mean, just wanted, before we go, just where can people see your stuff, and how can they get involved?
I've been waiting for this. No, I'm only joking. No, do you know what I mean? In terms of myself and that, Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, obviously YouTube as well. But that's where my stuff goes on. And I love football, so there's content all the time. And like I say, if people enjoy it and people like it, I'll carry on doing it forever. Do you know what I mean? It might look weird when I'm 60 doing Steven Gerrard impressions. Far easy with me walking stick, but no, I think it's something I love. I mean, I've got, you know, in terms of what I want to do, I want to progress into like character stuff and different things. I loved the Harry Enfield when I was a kid. It's kind of stuff that I want to go into. But in terms of my impressionism and what I do, it's like I really love to be that character. So, you know, in terms of like doing a voice and that, you can do a voice, but becoming someone, do you know what I mean?
That's facial expressions and all the little ticks.
Exactly, mate. If you can stay in character for like a good 20 minutes, half an hour, you know, you're onto it, instead of just like being able to. It's
well, good. I mean, I genuinely watch your stuff. I'm not just saying this because you're on. And what gets me going, I'm laughing before you've even said something, because you do the faces, don't you? I mean, like the Harry Redknapp always gets me going. Like I'm in bits. It's just the face before you've even said that.
Nah, do you know what it is? I think that you in terms of an impression, you've got to have the full shebang with it. Basically, you've got to be able to be that person. I think if I'd done Harry Redknapp and just did a generic face, hey, all right, you can do the voice or whatever, but you've got to have a little bit of the wow factor. I always look at my first video, Gareth, right? I always look at it and I go, oh my God, Rafa sounds terrible. To me, they sound terrible. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, I understand that, like, you know, you can improve on what you do, and I shouldn't look at it like that because it gives me such a great platform. But you're constantly working on those little things. Now, I'll be watching Rafa, you know, everything that he does. If he's on the bench, he's like, you know, all the little ticks and you know, all that. And if you can get those little subtleties, they make an impression, and you find people talk. I always realize, he was really good, so you're not for him. It's even that, just those little ticks, you know, but I love Rafa, so doing Rafa, because I love him that much. That's why, like, you know, I'm constantly watching videos. You know, his team was my team. Mascherano, Alonso, Gerrard, Carré.
And we were saying before, you've met the man himself, and he likes what you do as well.
Oh, he's a lovely fella. It's funny because You read books, like I've read, Carragher's book, which is brilliant, Gerrard's book, a couple of other players and stuff who work with Rafa. They talk about him being quite a cold, kind of. I think that's what you want from a manager. I'll be honest with you, that's the kind of manager you want. He's the manager, he's the boss, and that's how I see him. And you notice the difference, because when you meet him outside, that's not the person you meet. You meet a lovely fella who gives you a hug. He's, such a nice guy. And there's the manager. When he's in work mode, and that's what you want in a manager. I think you need someone who's quite tough. You can see what he's doing at Newcastle. He's very political. He's got the fans on his side. Very intelligent manager, mate. Trust me. So I think that's in terms of impressions and that, it's not personal. You never want to upset anyone with it. You know what I mean? And by doing like so many different impressions, you're not targeting anyone. Do you know what I mean? So
no, it's a laugh, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It's a passion. And something that I love doing. So, yeah.
Well, check Darren out on all the places he said, YouTube, Twitter, everything else. Just type his name into Google, he'll come up.
Be careful. I don't want to talk. It happened 8 years ago, and I regret it. But I didn't know I had the bussy from Greg's in my pocket. And when I walked out, I just went, "Oh, sorry, love." And then, anyway, they still want me for it, but thanks God.
Ignore that bit and watch the videos. On the Anfield app today, a couple of shows out. I mean, we had a bit of a Chelsea chat there. Neil and John been busy downstairs in the studio recording a podcast this morning, the coach home, speaking to a Chelsea fan about quite what's going on there and how come they're losing to Watford and Bournemouth and how come, the owners are falling out with the manager and everything else and what the fans want. So that's going to be out there today. Also out there today is a Rob Gutman overview where he sort of looks at where Liverpool are now in the league, the next few matches, the few matches just gone, and just sort of tries to decide where we are. Are we in a good place? Well, we're in third place, so that's not bad because Chelsea couldn't beat Watford. They're still down there, we're still ahead of them, so it's not a bad time to be a Red, is it? Thanks again to Darren. Check out the Anfield app as ever, theanfieldapp.com, and subscribe to our shows because they're good and people keep telling us they're good, and it's not just me saying it, that's been Talking Reds.
Boss.